Hi there, welcome to another video from the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association. In this video I want to give you a bit more information about the Machine Gun Core database ahead of Armistice Day and Remembrance Sunday, when we anticipate there'll be a bit more interest in people that certainly have passed away in the First World War. It will highlight, there will be more and more about it. So, the MGC database is something we've shared since July now. We're aware that it's getting some really good research being used. It's getting hit, it's getting used. It's it's propelled us really into the top 20 archives in the UK that share on the catalogue. So we're really pleased that people are using it in that way. So I'm going to talk through a few of the updates that we've done, a few of the upgrades to the database where we continually improve it. We don't just add information. So Graham is working all the time on adding information into the database, whilst Rich, I work on making sure it's sharing and shareable and accessible and enhancing and adding things to it. So I'll just show, and then I want to give you some tips on how to interpret the database as well. So let's search the catalogue. Let's use somebody that I've searched for before, 120146. Look, Charles Roberts, I think this is. Yep, Charles Roberts. And we can click on Charles. One thing that I would say, to start with, to make sure that I'm searching the database all the time, I'm adding SKR. Because that's Sacker. Graham Sacker created this database, and it's the prefix that we use for all the records. So we can go into Charles Roberts, and we can understand a little bit more about him. He was in the infantry, we can see that. But what we've done is we've added a hyperlink to the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association website that helps explain more about that branch. So it will take you to our website where you can read more about the infantry branch. You can actually look through some of the web pages that we've got prepared for individual units within the infantry branch. It's a far from complete list. It's not even an exhaustive list, but this is the ones that we've identified. We are gradually building this, and what we're doing by doing that, let's try and pick one to show you, say 177. It will actually give you some more information. It will tell you where the war diary's up. It will take you to the back to the National Archives, but not part of our catalogue, the true National Archives National Catalogue, where you can download the war diary. You don't need to pay £3.50, sign in, create an account, download it free of charge, and it will tell you a bit more about what's happening at that time with 177 company. But what we've also added in is the ability to use 177 COI, which is the just the data code. COI is the abbreviation for company, and it gives us that opportunity to search both ways. So if you go in looking for a company, you can find everybody that's in it. There are 206 results that link to 177 company. One of those, for example, is George Calvert here. And what we've done from the flip side is, rather than looking from the company side, if we're looking from an individual and we want to understand where they served, you can now go back to the website through these hyperlinks and it will tell you more about it. In this case, he served in 177 Company and 16 Battalion. So if we go to 16 Battalion's page, it starts to give you a bit more information about which companies we used to form it and where the battalion fought. It was in the 16th Irish Division, and it would have taken part in the following battles and engagements. So you can start to understand what the individual did at that point as well. So hopefully that really helps and tells you a little bit more about that person. Now, we don't know the unit for everybody, but it's the unit that helps us access more and more information. And we will only ever put, so Graham will only ever put the unit in where it's a known fact. There is primary source data to support that person being in there. However, that doesn't stop us interpreting the database in a slightly different way. Now, George Calvert is in the database here. He had a previous number of 1799. It's actually a really high record. Officers didn't have numbers, so this might not work as well. And actually, officers are where it falls down. So I'm going to go back to another individual, Private Frederick Charles Neal. And I'm going to use him as the example. Served in 90 Company. 166692 was his number. What we've done is we've sorted the database as it's uploaded by their service number. So if we go to the hierarchy view up here, we can see that 166692, his service number there, is followed by 166693, 166694, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in fact, we know, this is not all the numbers are always like this. There are many gaps, but they're followed by their service number. Now, their service numbers are grouped often by the company they were in. So if we know that this chap here, Neil, is in 177 company, Nowell, William Nowell, was he in 177 company? No, he was in 35 company, so it might not work. 166694 was in 12th Battalion, that we know him. 695, 123 company. My theory is being proven wrong here. 35 company, there was a 35 company a minute ago. 35 company again. 35 company. So we've had a little bit of a run of 35 company. And 35 company again. So if we had any unknown that are in this area, it could... So this chap here, for example, came from the 333352 is the record. 16700 is his service number. Let's go back. 16700, 15669... Sorry, 16699 was also 7th Battalion Norfolk's. If we see, we're interpreting now. We've got this record, 7th Norfolk's, but an unknown number, the consecutive number. Let's see if the other side matches. The other side, 7th Norfolk's, unknown number again. Then we've got 7th Norfolk's, unknown unit. 7th Norfolk's, 35 company. So it's highly likely that those previous people, 702 with his unknown unit, 701 with his unknown unit, and 700 with the unknown unit here, it's highly likely they were 35 company. We're never going to guarantee it, because we can't. It's quite simple, we can't. But, and they may well have served in different units as well, but it's really likely that they came from the 7th Battalion and Norfolk Regiment together and went into number 35 company. What's also possible is where we know a preceding unit. So let's have a look. Let's go to 35 company. And one of the things to remember is, look, I can't chase these hyperlinks here. I need to go to the details tab to get more information. So go to 35 company a minute. And 35 company, it might tell us from which machine gun sections was formed. Look, and it came from the 7th Battalion Norfolk Regiment. So we can sort of assume that others from the 7th Battalion Norfolk Regiment within that block with an unknown unit would also end up in 35 company. It can never be guaranteed until we find the data, maybe one day, but it does show that that is entirely possible. And that's the kind of thing that people get in touch with us about, either through the research at vickersmg.org or collections at vickersmg.org, or through Graham's website in the past. They want to know units because it's the units that can really tell us about the history. So what we've got here, if we know it's 35 company, we have transcribed from Beck the Orders of Battle of Divisions books. We've transcribed some of the information in there, so it's highly likely that that person would have taken part in these battles, and then would have eventually been formed into number 12 Battalion Machine Gun Corps, where we can say, okay, well, if they continued in the war, this is what they did. Look, 35 company became A company. This is building all the time, so there will be gaps in the information, but it is building all the time, and we will continue to build it to hopefully fill in these gaps and provide this Machine Gun Corps history in its entirety. It won't ever be complete, but it might be comprehensive. One of the things to say, though, is all this information comes from a fair amount of the information comes from one of the books that Graham has written over the years called The Suicide Club, and you can go to our books page and you can order that. So there we go, it's loaded up, and that book, The Suicide Club by Graham Sacker, is available there for £15, and within that there's a potted history of all of the different units in the Machine Gun Corps that we know that information about. He's collated that from Beck, those orders about the divisions for the Machine Gun Corps units, added it in with some other stuff as well, and it's all there and available to purchase. So please do that. It helps, it obviously helps us. And at the moment we've got a fair few in stock, so yeah, that's good to know. But and alongside Pride of the MGs and all these other books that you can access from us as well. So it's yeah, it's a building. This is a piece of work that we're continuing to build. We're going to, these pages will eventually include unit photos, any information that we've got from our own archive in the photos. But I just wanted to share, let's say, that use of that hierarchy view that gives you this wider picture of the Machine Gun Corps numbers and how they're used consecutively. Say it can't be guaranteed, but it does at least give you that better insight. So hopefully you're using the database, hopefully you're looking up individuals. Wider research, do get in touch with us. We do have some different options about accessing that. And let us know what you think by making sure that you're going onto the database there, following, here we go into details, go to the research, the finding aids page on our website again, and we've got, contact it. We've got all the definitions and stuff there, and we've got how to contact us down at the bottom as well. So you've got that Suicide Club book, Postcards of the Machine Gun Corps Volume 1. We're producing Volume 2 at the moment, and Pride of the MOGs if you want to know more about the Vickers machine gun itself. So get in touch with us, let us know what you think. Graham's used these sources, and we'll continue to update it, and you'll get those updates at the bottom here.